Everybody, Dizzy Crafter here with another haul, but because this haul is so small, I'm going to do something a little bit different with it. So first of all, the things I actually got was these Brushos, and I got this Brushos Sprinkle set, and I got the Brushos Crystal Colour set. And I basically been after these, but they were just so expensive. Like when I've looked on Lavinia and stuff, like for this box it was £50 something. So I've been bidding on eBay, and I actually won this on eBay for £21 something. I think it was just shy of £25 with the P&P, which I thought was a bargain. And I think I paid something like £10–11 for the Sprinkle set. And both was new. I have opened this one just to check that all the colours was there, and it was, but I haven't actually used any of them. So in here we've just got a leaflet here showing you basically what the colours they have. I'm guessing there's more colours here than there is actually in these, because there's 24 in here, and I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 18, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34 there. So there'd still be 12 more colours that I haven't actually got, which I can pick up another time if I feel like I need them. And then it's got some ideas on how to use them at the back. So that was that, and like I say, got 24 pots in here. Like I said, they're all sealed, but what I'm going to do with these today is actually make some paints with them. And I've also, if I can get this tape off here, in here we've got another leaflet, and that's again showing you what to do with the Sprinkle kit, and it's double-sided there. And then we've got 6 Brushos. Now these are slightly different because I actually own one of these, because these just come in a white pot and you cannot see what's inside them. But on these ones you can, because it's a totally different jar. Like this is a flip top jar and this is a screw lid. So we can have a look there. So on this one we've got iridescent gold. Then we've got copper, which is like a very coppery pigment. And then we've got a gold pigment. So you can paint and everything with these. You can do so much with them. And then we've got iridescent violet. Then we've got pearl. And then we've got iridescent flash, which this is the one I actually own. So I've got 2 of those, which I don't think I will ever use the whole tub because these last forever. So the first thing I'm going to do is, I've got these trays from Lavinia. I'll just take this out of the wrapping. And I've actually made some labels up with using my label maker so that I can label each of the pots. So I know I had 24 of these, so I've made 20. I bought enough to have 24. I'm not going to make paints out of the Sprinklet because I'm not too sure if you can and how it would react, because that's more something that you put on after. I possibly could have done it with the copper and the gold pigment though. So these actually come out of the trays. So I can just like label these up on the side so I'll know which one is which for when I need to refill it. And then these lids go on fairly tightly apparently. So, and they have really nice snug fit. Now Joe Rice, I went to the Lavinia Craft Hologanza thing that they did at the weekend. Well, weekend for me, but I don't know when this will go up. And she actually recommended making sure the lids are pointing out here, so I can see like the lip here, because it just makes it more difficult, whereas this way you can do that and hold it that way. And these trays are great because you've actually got spaces to store your brushes and stuff like that. So like if you're resting a brush, I mean this brush is too big for that, but you could still rest it even though the handle isn't as big. So anyway, I'm rabbiting on as I always do, and I feel like the first thing I need to do is just grab a colour, and then Joe recommends not unsealing them but putting a hole in the top and then putting a pin in the top to a corresponding colour. Now I've got the hole in there now, which was fairly easily to do, and I've just picked up some of these pins from Amazon. They wasn't too expensive, a couple of quid, and there's loads in here, more than I'll ever need. We just bob that in there like so, and that's a really nice, like that's not going to fall out, and that will protect it somewhat. Now you can get colours, so you could correspond it, but it's still only going to be the primary colours, so that's why I want it clear. And I think what I might do is a swatch on top as well of the colour when I've got round to it, so we may do that today as well. So what colour have we got here? We've got Prussian blue. So I'm going to just take one of these pots. I'm just going to move everything out of the way so that it's not all in the way. So let's find the Prussian blue label. And there it is. I'm just going to pop this on the pot ready. So we've got all that labelled up nicely. Joe says just sprinkle in the bottom, cover the bottom up. I feel like I'm probably going to need my hole a little bit bigger than that. That's about the pigment I'm going to put in, and then we're going to actually put it about 3/4 of the water filled, and I've actually just used water out the kettle. I boiled it and let it cool down. I don't know if that makes a difference, but I did see a video not long ago, somebody suggesting that, so that's what I've done. Once we've got that in, I'm just going to give that a really good mix. And because I want to do those swatches on top, I'm actually going to just do a bit of a paint so you can see what colour it's actually. Right, so I've made all the paint, well not all of them, most of them, and as you can see this is what they're like. They do kind of leak a little bit because a lot of the lids would not go on properly, and a couple of them I literally could not put on, so I didn't mix the colour because the lids have actually been damaged. I have contacted Lavinia and they are going to send me out some new lids or pots or something, so I couldn't mix like the white and black and a couple of others. But what I have done is I've painted out the colour swatches on these cards. So you can see here we've got lemon, gambage, orange, vermilion, crimson, os red, scarlet, brilliant red, light brown, dark brown, and then we've got Persian blue, cobalt blue, turquoise, ost blue. If someone could tell me what this ost means, I'd really appreciate it because I have no idea. Ultramarine, violet, grey, emerald, sea green, leaf green, purple and yellow. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these circle dies from Waffle Flower, and I'm just going to cut out a couple of circles from each of the swatches, and one will go on top of the pots and one will go on top of these pots, so they'll coordinate, so I'll know from a glance. Now the swatches that go on these pot lids, they may not show the test of time because they may come off over time. So without further ado, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start cutting them all up. I've got the coordinating tub and I'm just going to glue these on top here. And then with these pots, what I am actually going to do is take the pin out of it first, and then I'm just going to place the pin in the centre like so, so that I know it's going to work, and then I'm going to add the glue around it. That way I know that the hole is in the exact same place. So I'm just going to do all of them and then I'll come back to you and show you what all that looks like. Well, that's what the trays actually look like completed, well, as completed as I can get it, and I'm actually quite pleased of how it actually all looks. I've done it in like some colour rainbow order of some form anyway. I will say this is a messy job, so if you're wanting to stay clean, you're not going to do. These pots have leaked a little bit on the lids that are not very good, but hopefully when Lavinia send me those new lids, that'll be fantastic. And I also wanted to share with you what I decided to do. So I've actually kept the Brushos box and I've just trimmed off all the excess, so because obviously it wouldn't close with all these pins in, but it just keeps it all nice and neat and I can see at a glance what's actually in them. What I think I'm going to do though is to protect these ones with the topsies, I'm actually going to put some glossy accents over it, and hopefully that will then keep it sealed. With these ones I'm not too bothered because these will not get wet, but these ones will. So I'll just bob some on and see if it reacts to it. I'm hoping it doesn't react, but if it does, then I don't know what I'm going to do to seal it. Well, I thought I'd actually show with you what else you can do with Brushos. I mean, obviously you can make the paints with them, but I'll show you another little technique. I mean, I'm still getting to grips with them, but this is what drew me into the Brushos. So I've got some water cardstock here, and I've just got a bottle with some water in, and I'm just going to give that a light spray. And then choosing whatever colour Brushos you want, you just sprinkle it on like salt and pepper. This is lemon. I'm just going to put that a little bit everywhere. And then I think I'll go with a leaf green. And just bobbing it just anywhere really. Then we'll go with a turquoise. And you could do lots of different types of backgrounds. I mean, this could end up being a little bit muddied because of where I put the colours, but you can put a colour down, dry it, and then do another colour if you wanted to. And then you want to lightly spray it, and that's when it really comes into their own. And you can see it kind of goes into each other and brings out lots of different colours. And you can just manoeuvre it, manipulate it to go. You can actually make your own sprays with these, like I've just done in the little pots, but make a bigger version of them. So yes, there's lots of stuff you can actually do with Brushos. Once you've got some Brushos, you've got quite a lot of mediums you could use in your card making. And you just want to soak up any of the excess that's coming over. I mean, you can let this dry naturally, or you can let it dry it with the heat gun as well, so it would dry much quicker. But as I feel like you all know, I kind of like letting my things dry naturally. And you can see all the different patterns you get, and you're never ever going to get the same thing twice. But I do really, really like this effect. And that's just with using 3 colours. I mean, I could add maybe a red in there, so let's go with Brilliant Red. It may muddy it up a bit, but I'll try and pop it not where other colours are. And it's like the colour explodes. It's really cool. I really, really like it. And what I will do is I didn't actually do the swatches of the sprinkler, just the day's gone too long, but I have still, like I say, I've got the iridescent flash, so I'll show you that. So this is what I've actually done with my iridescent flash, but I will be changing this pin. This is the only pin I had at the time. And because this is still very, very wet, I'm literally going to just sprinkle that on, and it was just going to give me a really nice glittery finish. And I'll show you all that once it's dried up. It's actually been a couple of weeks since I've visited this Brushos video. just because I've had a lot on, but I've finally found the card that I was creating. Ignore these lines here. Well, I placed it on the floor while it was drying and I stood on it, so these are actually marks off my trainer, but I just wanted to show you that sprinklet, how subtle it is but how pretty. Now you can do all kinds with this. You could make a card with it, you could die cut it out, stamp on it, you can just do so much. And you can see like there's very little warpage because I did let it dry naturally. I mean, there's ways around it. If you did have to use a heat gun, just heat it both sides and it doesn't warp as much, but that's that one. I just wanted to share with you another way of using it, and this will probably be the last way I'm going to do. I'm going to be using the gel press. So I've got my gel press here. I'm just going to take this off, and then I'm using got the Brushos, and as you can see the glossy accents all dried lovely on these now. Lavinia did actually end up sending me a whole new tub of this, a whole new tray, so I've got a brand new tray, so replace the ones with the lids that was a bit dodgy, so I've ended up with extra pots if you like and an extra tray. So that was really fantastic customer service as far as I'm concerned. And we're going to create this background using the elements, and I'm just literally having a play with these. I have no idea how it's going to work out. Pink is definitely not a colour I would normally go for, but I thought I'd go with a pink or maybe the green, but I'm leaning more towards the pink just because green is something I always tend to go to, and I want something a bit different to what I would normally use. And then I've got a brayer that I'd purchased from Craft Stash. I will link everything I can do down below as well. So the first thing we need to do is load our brayer up. And you know what, I might even still do the green, so I might just load this and then do half and half and see how that turns out. So we've got all that loaded up, and I'm just going to smooth it out on my mat, and then I'm going to roll it onto my gel press. And then I'm going to actually clean my brayer. Normally I would clean it on another piece of card, but for speediness I'm just going to use a wipe. And now we're just going to do the same but with the pine. And just a tip, just when you're using your brayer, always have your brayer facing up. Do not place your brayer down here, especially when it's a soft ball one. And I don't know what colour of Brushos I want to use, to be honest. Should we add, I think I might add some yellow in the centre and then some darker greens down the bottom. So let's get my brushes. I feel like we'll go with a mid-tone yellow. Oh, well, I did say it worked, but it didn't. It's come off. Oh, that's annoying a little bit, but hey-ho. And I'm actually using a smaller brush than what the Lavinia one is, just because I'm not used to it. And I'm just going to, like, place some yellow just in the centre. I'm going around in, like, a circle. And then I'm going to add some greens, I think. I'm just tapping that off the excess, and I'm going to go around the edges with the green. And I have actually got my gel press on an acrylic block. I just find that a little bit easier to pick up, and I can see where this is going. I want to add a bit more green, and I have no idea what this is going to turn out like, and that's part of the fun. So I'm just going to move these out of the way. I'm using some multi-purpose card that is from Crafter's Companion. Just going to clean that up a little bit. And because I've got it on the acrylic block, I can now place it this way. Lots of people like to place it directly on top, but I like, just as Joe writes, is to see what's happening. And I'm just going to press ever so lightly on there. Hopefully my big head ain't in the way. And then I'm going to remove that, and voila, we've got another one. Now I know I can maybe get a fainter print, so I'm just going to try it. There's no harm in trying, and see what that one comes out like. Now we could have added more inks, more Brushos to this, but I'm just curious to see how much of this I will actually get. And as I suspected, it's a much subtle background, but it's still a background I can use. So that's basically it for this haul. I know it's been a haul slash demonstration. I hope you've enjoyed it. I would love it if you could give me some hints and tips maybe of how you use the Brushos. Is there any other ways I'm not thinking of and stuff like that? Because like I say, I'm fairly new to this. But I feel like I've come to the end of the things that I know how to use them for now. And I'm going to say goodbye and a big thank you for watching, especially if you've got to this far in the video. And hopefully I shall catch you in the next one. Bye!